some of you might know that I used to have, I used to be diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, and I have major depressive disorder, and I used to have horrible social anxiety, and I have insomnia and just tons of troubles. So I run a blog called beatingbpd.tumblr.com at beating-bpd, and the link will be down the thing. Some of you might be here from there, and I have promised that I would record some videos and put them on here. Something really important that you need to know about people with borderline personality disorder, and I know that being diagnosed and it's so scary. It makes you feel horrible. You're like, what is this that I have? And they're just like, hey, borderline personality disorder, and don't really tell you a whole lot about it. So basically, a person with borderline personality disorder, according to the DSM-4, meets 5 of the 9 criteria. They've updated it to the DSM-5, so the way that they're diagnosing people with BPD is a little bit different now, but it's basically the same kind of thing. People think that BPD don't have empathy, which is completely incorrect. I would say that most of the people I have interacted with that have BPD are actually really highly empathetic. And because we have so much raw emotion, then we can really feel that in other people. We may not read it right away, like when we're having an episode that's really bad, we may not sense that's happening because we've been hyperventilating and focusing on ourselves. We're not seeing something from somebody else's point of view. But when we do, we really empathize with them because we know we've been there, we can feel that emotion, we know what it feels like, and I would never say that somebody with BPD is not empathetic whatsoever or has no emotion for other people. That's completely untrue. Don't believe anybody if they tell you that that's the case. It seems scary at first, but you should not be afraid of a diagnosis. The diagnosis does not make you who you are. You need to explain to people that people with BPD have an emotional skin of a 3rd-degree burn victim. You are so raw with your emotion. When you have emotions, they are more intense than what somebody else might feel. If they have a scratch, you feel like you just got your arm chopped off. That's how big of a difference is for somebody with BPD. I have been in recovery from BPD for a year now. It was around this time last year that it was taken off my axis of diagnosis, which my counselor does not agree with because he says that you don't stop having BPD. Like, you don't stop having the traits. That's what I'm trying to express with people, and what I'm trying to show with the blog is that I still have my battles. It's not all sunshine and rainbows over here in recovery land, but I manage my symptoms better. I'm not horribly afraid of being abandoned anymore. I still curl up on the couch and have crying episodes, but I'm also contending with major depressive disorder and all my other stuff, and that makes things worse. But you can be okay. There is no reason to be scared of this. Basically, from when you get diagnosed, you need to make a choice. Inform yourself. Make sure that people around you are informed. Get a really good support group, people who are going to listen to you and going to understand. It is fantastic to know that if I had a major breakdown, I can call my friend Becca at 1 in the morning and ask her if I'm worth it, if I'm feeling suicidal, or if I'm wanting to self-harm, and she will be there for me. So it was my friend Andrea, and I'm lucky to have that. Having a good support group is very important. If you don't have one physically in your own family or friends, then there are people online. Like, I leave my inbox open. I try to get to people as soon as I get something and try to answer questions or just be there for them, because sometimes just venting to somebody else and knowing that somebody else understands, being validated, is one of the most important things I've experienced with BPD, is having somebody else understand what you're going through. It's like, oh, thank you. Just hearing somebody else go, me too, is the best thing ever. Another important thing to do is to have a plan in place for whenever you do start feeling suicidal or self-harming, then you need to have something to do. Everybody from my blog knows what I do. As soon as I start feeling my going crazy, I can feel it coming on. I don't know if you guys do that, but like I feel it coming, and I know it's coming on, and I'll be preparing for either like a really bad panic attack or a really, really, really bad, like the thoughts are just really negative, and I'm getting bombarded with negative thoughts. So what I will do is I will immediately make sure that I've taken my medication. I'll try to do it, try to take my Klonopin, and I will go ahead and start tea. I'll take a hot shower. I'll cry it out if I have to. I curl up in my spot on the couch and I drink tea, and I try to just like distract myself. I'll get on Tumblr and I'll look at all the pretty little pictures of like cute animals and foxes that are adorable, and I don't know, like that makes me, I'll try to help other people. Helping other people also, it distracts me. Distraction is key as well when you're having a crisis mode. If you can distract yourself by focusing on somebody else, helping somebody else, give them virtual hugs or anything like that, that also will help you. Basically, being diagnosed with borderline personality disorder is not the end of the world, and you can get to a point where you're managing your symptoms with medication and therapy and DBT or self-soothing. I personally have never gone through DBT. I did 30 days of mentalization, which is mentalization-based therapy, with Amanda Smith from Hope from BPD, and that was really helpful for me because I learned a lot about hypermentalization, and now I can look at myself and go, oh, I'm hypermentalizing, and make myself stop. So that was really helpful. Doing dialectical behavioral therapy is working a lot for people. Debbie Corso from Healing from BPD was actually the reason why I started working toward wellness, because she actually gave me hope. I was like, oh, there is light at the end of this tunnel. So if those are two really good resources for you. If you'd like to read a book, Buddha in the Borderline is absolutely fantastic. It was extremely validating. It showed the lightness and the darkness and the journey just trying to get better. So I would check that out. If you're not broken, don't think that there's no hope for you. You are going to be absolutely fine. You just need to get to a place where you find yourself safe in managing your symptoms. You will be all right. I swear, it is not the end of the world. The reason why that my counselor says it is not something that should be removed from my access is because having a personality disorder, there's, yes, okay, lots of environmental stuff, but it also has to do with biology. So it's the way my brain works. And although I'm retraining my brain to do certain things and stopping negative thoughts and start doing this instead, I'm still going to have issues. So it's like he equated it to being a diabetic. It's like, yes, okay, you've got this disease, but you're also taking your insulin, you're managing your diet, you're exercising, you're doing these things is making your life manageable, and it's not a death sentence. Same with BPD. You've got a personality disorder. You know what the problem is, you have the diagnosis, it sounds really scary, but if you're taking your medication, you're going to therapy, you're working on yourself, you're doing DBT skills, you're doing self-care, self-soothing, things that are going to help you manage your emotions better, then you're going to have a very high-functioning life, and you will be all right. All right, this is so much stuff, so much information. This is a lot longer than I wanted it to be, so I will talk again about it. If you guys have any additional questions, hit me up with the Tumblr, link down there. Make comments or subscribe or whatever, and I will try to answer as many questions as I possibly can. And have a fantastic day.